Kij. It doesn't require machines, gyms, or exhausting routines. And when practiced consistently, it can be the key to keeping your body young, agile, and strong, even as the years go by. That movement is the deep squat. Today, most people avoid it or consider it dangerous. But the real risk lies in losing the ability to perform it. When the body forgets this primal pattern, that is when true aging begins. Stiffness, pain, and dependency. Picture the simplest scene. A child playing, squatting down to pick up a toy, naturally falling into a perfect deep squat. Their back is upright, their feet grounded, their breath flowing. In that innocent gesture lies the original design of the human body. We are all born with this wisdom imprinted in our flesh, but over time, as we stop practicing it, what was once natural becomes difficult, almost impossible. And what happens when we forget this secret? The body begins to compensate. We push ourselves up with our hands. We bend our backs instead of our hips. We take shorter steps. Gradually, we lose agility, independence, and even confidence in our own movement. Aging does not begin with wrinkles, it begins with the loss of this ancestral fluidity. The magic of the deep squat lies in its simplicity. It's in one movement. It activates glutes, quadriceps, hamstrings, core, and spine. It opens hips, knees, and ankles. It stimulates circulation and supports digestion. It is like a silent hymn to vitality, a practice that connects muscles, bones, energy in a dance of rejuvenation. In this video, we will reveal why the deep squat has been called the most powerful anti-aging exercise. We'll explore how this movement activates circuits of strength and longevity unknown to most, the ancestral wisdom behind this primal pattern, and most importantly, how you can integrate it into your daily life to recover not only your mobility, but also your vital energy. 99% of people ignore it, but you won't. Because today you will discover that the real secret of anti-aging does not lie in expensive treatments, but in remembering what your body always knew how to do: lower, hold, and rise again. Get ready. What may look like a simple exercise is, in reality, a ritual of physical and spiritual power. To understand why the deep squat can be considered an anti-aging exercise, we must return to the very origins of humanity. Before chairs, couches, and offices, humans lived in constant connection with the ground. They cooked near the fire, gathered fruits, rested under trees, and sat together in circles. And the most common posture for all of this was not what we now call sitting, but the deep squat, feet grounded, hips low, spine upright. In many cultures, this posture symbolized connection to what is essential. Among indigenous peoples of Africa and the Americas, squatting was used to work the land, share stories, or hold collective rituals. It was not seen as exercise, but as a natural part of living. The philosophy behind it was simple. To remain close to the ground was to remain close to Mother Earth, rooted and humble. In Asia, especially in China, India, and Japan. The deep squat was woven into daily life until very recently. Eating, conversing, or resting in this position was normal. Beyond its practicality, its energetic value was also recognized. In yoga traditions, many hip opening and leg strengthening poses derive from this primal pattern. It was said that squatting toward the earth balanced the lower shakrusta, roots of vitality and stability, while keeping the spine upright allowed vital energy, prana or chi, to rise freely upward, even in ancient Western cultures. Squatting carried philosophical meaning. Greek philosophers acknowledged that movement was essential to the health of both body and soul. Hippocrates, the father of medicine, declared that lack of movement destroys the good condition of every human being, while exercise preserves it. Although he did not speak directly about the squat, the principle was there. The ability to lower oneself and rise again was proof of strength, longevity, and vitality. Over time, modern life pulled us away from the ground. Chairs replaced the squat, and with them came stiffness. We lost direct contact with the earth and, along with it, the wisdom of a movement that preserved the youthfulness of our joints. Today, in many industrialized cultures, the elderly can no longer perform a squat, while in rural and traditional communities, this posture remains part of daily life, and people maintain mobility into old age. Philosophically, the deep squat carries a profound lesson. Those who know how to lower and rise preserve the power of life. It is a symbol of humility and resilience, descending in order to rise again. Every time you practice this gesture, you train not only your muscles, but also your spirit in the art of renewal. What 99% of people ignore is not merely a physical exercise, but a cultural and spiritual legacy that reminds us of an uncomfortable truth. We have complicated life to the point of forgetting the essential, and in that forgetting lies one of the roots of premature aging. Most people associate youth with outward appearance, smooth skin, lack of wrinkles, a vibrant face. But the true marker of youth is not in the mirror. It is in the body in motion. The ability to squat and rise with fluidity, to maintain an upright spine and free joints, is the most faithful reflection of inner vitality. Here is where the deep squat becomes the hidden gem of anti-aging. Physiologically. This movement engages almost every system in the body. When performing a deep squat, the legs, glutes, hips, and core are activated. The spine works to stay aligned. The ankles regain mobility, and blood circulation is intensely stimulated. It is like turning on a complete energy circuit that flows through every muscle and joint. No other exercise is as simple yet as integral, but the most important effects happen internally. With each descent, abdominal pressure is regulated, and internal organs receive a natural massage. The intestines are activated, digestion improves, and the diaphragm gains a greater range of expansion. In other words, the body not only strengthens, but also detoxifies. For this reason, in traditional Chinese medicine, Similar postures were recommended to promote longevity. The goal was not to sculpt muscles, but to maintain the free and abundant flow of vital qi. From a spiritual perspective, the movement reveals even deeper layers of meaning. The deep squat represents the act of lowering toward the earth to rise anew. It is a physical ritual of humility and renewal. In each descent, you reconnect with your roots, returning to the earth, to the essential, to the origin. In each ascent, you are reborn like, rising from the ashes with greater strength and clarity. Practicing it is, in a way, repeating the eternal cycle of death and rebirth that permeates all existence. What is fascinating is that this gesture also acts on the energetic plane. By opening the hips and ankles, you unlock areas where tension and unresolved emotions often accumulate. Yoga tradition teaches that the hips are repositories of emotional memories. By moving them, opening them, giving them space, those memories begin to release. That is why many people experience relief, sometimes even the urge to cry. In practicing deep squats, the body speaks, and movement becomes a channel for catharsis. We can think of this exercise as a hidden fountain of youth. It is not a potion or a miracle, but a movement pattern that awakens in the body the memory of what it truly means to be alive. When practiced consistently, the body remembers what it once forgot, how to move without pain, how to support itself without fear, how to flow with gravity instead of fighting it. The deep squat also trains something rarely mentioned in the modern fitness world: self-confidence. Those who can lower themselves without fear of falling, who can remain close to the ground and rise with ease, maintain not only mobility but autonomy. Autonomy is one of the purest forms of freedom. Not relying on a cane or the help of others for basic life movements is, in itself, an antidote to aging. What appears to be a simple exercise is, in reality, an alchemical movement that unites the physical, energetic, and spiritual. Beyond toning or strengthening, it reminds us that the secret to longevity is not in adding more, but in returning to the essential dot we have already. Understood that the deep squat is not merely a physical exercise, but a gesture full of symbolism, regenerative power, and spiritual connection. Yet there are subtler nuances that deserve attention, because what many consider a simple movement can become a practice of self-discovery when done with full awareness. One of the most surprising aspects is that difficulty performing. A deep squat is not natural, but cultural. The human body is designed to do it. Young children perform it effortlessly, without training or strain. But in modern societies, an excess of chairs and lack of ground contact has atrophied this ability. What should be a basic movement pattern is now perceived as an almost impossible challenge for millions of adults. And therein lies a hard truth. We have not aged simply because years pass, but because we have forgotten how to move as we were meant to. Another important nuance is the contradiction between comfort and longevity. We surround ourselves with sofas, high chairs, soft beds, everything designed to make life easier. But therein lies the trap. By reducing bodily effort, we weaken it. The deep squat reminds us that true comfort lies not in avoiding effort, but in maintaining the ability to exert it. It is a call to return to the ground, to reconnect with the earth, to that space where life is sustained through simplicity. There is also a less explored energetic aspect, the deep squat as a grounding portal. In a fast-paced world, our energy is scattered upward into the mind and worries. By lowering into a squat, you literally direct your energy toward the earth, strengthening the root chakra, the center that gives us stability, security, and connection to the material. It is like a grounding cable for your spirit, releasing excess energy and recharging the essential. There is even a deep emotional layer. Many people feel discomfort holding the posture not just due to physical stiffness, but because the body stores memories in the hips, knees, and ankles. The discomfort is an invitation to release. Each second in a deep squat is an act of courage. You sit with your discomfort, observe it, breathe, and gradually transform it into strength. Finally, it is essential to understand that the deep squat is not about aesthetic perfection. It is not a gym movement to sculpt glutes or legs. It is a daily ritual. It is about drinking from the spring of mobility, remembering that you are still capable of lowering and rising on your own. That simple ability can make the difference between aging with limitations or aging with dignity, freedom, and vitality. In summary, the deep squat is neither a whim nor a trend. It is ancestral medicine. We have ignored a practice that restores what modern life has stolen: connection with the ground, with the body, and with life itself. The secret to anti-aging is not found in expensive creams or miracle capsules. As always, it lies in simplicity. The body has its own alchemy, but it requires that we remember the movements that keep it alive. The deep squat should not be a challenge, but a daily skill. And regaining this posture can become a journey of physical and spiritual transformation. Here are some tips to make this movement an easy routine to incorporate into your life. First, start where you are. It does not matter if today you can only lower yourself a few centimeters. The process is not about forcing, but about gradually remembering what your body has always known how to do. Start with support. Sit on a low chair and rise without using your hands. Use assistance if needed, but do it with intention. Each attempt reminds your muscles and joints of their original purpose. Second, integrate the deep squat into your daily life. Don't reserve it just for workouts. Use it when picking something up from the floor, or when resting for a few seconds, instead of always reaching for a chair. At first, it will feel uncomfortable, but over time, your body will recognize this movement as its natural home of motion. Third, breathe consciously in the posture. Feel your hips expanding, your ankles and diaphragm relaxing. Each inhalation is a sip of vital energy. Each exhalation releases tension into the earth. Fourth, use the squat as meditation. Place your hands in front of your heart, close your eyes, and observe what arises: discomfort, stiffness, thoughts. Staying balanced close to the ground trains patience, humility, and the mind. 5th, make the floor your ally. Sit on the floor to read, watch TV, or spend time with family. Alternating between floor and squat strengthens hips and knees effortlessly. Every minute away from the ground is a minute you forget your natural design. 6th, celebrate every progress. Don't seek perfection. Value every extra second in the posture, every extra centimeter you lower, every movement that becomes more fluid. Progress is not measured by muscles, but by freedom regained. The deep squat is the body's original language, a gesture that awakens the ancestral memory of vitality. Practice it daily, and you'll see that anti-aging is not a myth, but a natural consequence of living in harmony with your design. We've traveled from humanity's oldest roots to the present, uncovering a forgotten secret, the deep squat, ignored by 99% of people, can determine the difference between aging with stiffness or living with vitality. Its greatness lies in simplicity. It requires no gym, expansive equipment, or complex programs. Bending down to the ground and rising again holds the alchemy of youth. It strengthens muscles, frees joints, stimulates organs, and awakens the vital energy flowing through the body like a luminous river. Beyond the physical benefits, it offers a spiritual lesson. Life is a cycle of descending and rising again. Every descent embraces humility. Every rise celebrates the strength to stand anew. Maintaining this ability is the true secret to facing aging. Aging is not just the passage of time, but forgetting our connection to what is essential. Recovering the deep squat is a return to the ancestral memory of what it means to be alive. The choice is in your hands. You can ignore this secret and seek external solutions that never arrive, or dare to rediscover what your body has always known how to do. Every attempt, every second closer to the ground, is a step toward freedom, autonomy, and vitality. Imagine your life in 20 or 30 years. Do you want to arrive with stiffness, dependence, and pain, or with fluidity, the ability to move freely and dignity? The answer lies in this simple gesture you've now rediscovered. True anti-aging is not about denying the passage of time, but about living each year with full movement and energy. The deep squat is the key that restores this possibility. If this knowledge resonates with you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it, inspire, and help others rediscover their strength and vitality. I invite you to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and share this video with your loved one. Because every person who remembers this ancestral secret will have the opportunity to restore their vitality and transform their future. Time will pass for everyone, but how we live, it depends on our choices. Today, you've discovered a powerful choice, returning to the movement that preserves life